Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie from the Farmhouse Mom, and in today's video we are going to do a little bit of sourdough baking. We're going to make some fall soups. I'm going to organize the farmhouse kitchen just a little bit, and then we are going to do a party setup for a Halloween party that we had this weekend with my family and Eric's family. I upload every Tuesday and Friday. This Friday I'm going to be doing some more Christmas goat milk soap. So if you enjoy the soap videos, make sure you come back Friday and see what we're going to do. So I started my party prep the day before and I made four things. I made some sourdough sugar cookies. I only did half a batch because anytime we have sugar cookies, it's usually way too much. I also made some healthier, not necessarily healthy, but healthier chocolate chip cookies. Basically, I just use honey instead of the sugar. I added some sourdough starter so I could long ferment it for 24 hours so it would be easier to digest. And then I made my long fermented cornbread with goat milk and I started on my 4 loaves of sourdough bread. After I finished my baking party prep, I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit more kitchen organizing. If you saw my video last week, I got most of my cabinets and my drawers done, but my counters still needed to be a little bit more organized, and so I got a new bread box off of Amazon. I really hope that it helps keep the sourdough bread fresh, and I'll let you guys know how it works, and I'll link that in the description below. I got a really nice dish rack too, which was awesome. And then this counter over here, this is what it looked like before. I had kind of like 3 or 4 different stations and it looked a little cluttered. So I got my long cutting board that I had on the island and I put everything together. Basically, I changed that by the season. So anything that I'm using daily, I put out on the counters because I don't want to be walking across the kitchen and going to the pantry anytime I have to cook because I am cooking every day, 3 times a day, and I loved it. It was so convenient, and I was able to stay right over there in that corner, and baking was such a breeze this weekend. Okay, now we are at Sunday, the day of the party. And so Saturday, the day before, I made 2 batches of sourdough bread. So the sourdough bread recipe that I use is from farmhouseonboone.com, and it typically makes 2 loaves. And so I had 4 loaves, and I divided those into 16 little small bread bowls for our New England chowder and for our pumpkin chili. And I think I put each bread bowl at about 225 grams. That seemed to work pretty good. I think I woke up at maybe 5 o'clock for this, and you can totally tell on the video footage where my eyes are not even open all the way. So just bear with me. I rolled up the little bread bowls just like I would a regular sourdough loaf. And I have to tell you, my thrifting totally paid off because I had 16 bowls, no problem, to proof these in. So after I rolled them, I sprinkled them with rice flour and I put them in the refrigerator. Okay, it's 7 a.m. the morning of the party, and I washed my hair last night, so it's not done, so it's gonna be super poofy. So I have the 16 bread bowls made. We have the sourdough sugar cookies, we have the kind of healthy chocolate chip cookies, and I'm just gonna start setting the plates and setting the tables and getting some decorations. We did a lot of decorations yesterday. Eric put a bunch of stuff up and we kind of just got in the thick of it, and I videoed some of it, but some of it I didn't, but you get the gist. We put the Halloween decorations up, and of course I'm going to show you the whole party, all the decorations, everything that we did, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. After I got the kids' table and the adults' table set, it was time to start working on the soups. I also laid out a tablecloth on the island because I'm going to have a little buffet style serving station. I got my recipe for my New England clam chowder off of allrecipes.com. It was a really simple recipe, basically just, bacon, potatoes, nothing extra that I had to go out and get. So that was nice. I also put 6 cups of dried beans in the Instant Pot when I got up that morning. Those were ready. So I added that to the pumpkin chili, and I just used my regular, chili recipe and just added a can of pumpkins, and it's really delicious. It's a good way to get vegetables in and your kids don't know it. I also do it with butternut squash and acorn squash from the garden. I feel like I prefer the acorn squash over the pumpkin, but it was still really good. In between cooking and decorating, I really tried hard to keep the dishes done. Because we have the open living dining kitchen, the last thing I want to do is look over to the kitchen and see a bunch of dirty dishes. I baked my sourdough bread in 4 different batches. I was able to do 4 at a time, and it was about 2.5 hours total. I had never used an open bake before. I always just use a Dutch oven, but I got a cast iron skillet. I poured boiling water in it and preheated the pizza stone, and they came out really good. Not quite as kind of a crispy crust as my Dutch oven, but still a really good sourdough loaf. I've got the pumpkin chili, that's good. It was a little bit salty, so I added some sour cream and another can of Rotel. The clam chowder is ready. I just haven't added the cream in the clams. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I've got my last sourdough bake in. I've got 12 bread bowls made. I've got 4 more made. Then I'm gonna put my sourdough cornbread in, and I've got to do the cheese and the onions for the chili. Oh, I have to bake my sugar cookies and my chocolate chip cookies. And then I still have a little bit of decorating to do. And I think we still have like an hour and a half. All right, I'm gonna let this simmer and pull out my bread and get my sourdough cornbread in. And I still have to go do my hair, so hopefully I have time to do that. That's kind of a lost cause anyway. All right, so let me get my sourdough out. Let me put my cornbread in, and I'll do cheese and onions. I bought this on Friday, and this is the second time I've used it, and it's only Sunday. So this 25-cent Miro vintage cookie sheet. So I'm gonna get the sugar cookies. We're gonna roll those out, get those going. I've been a fitness teacher for a long time. I owned a yoga studio for about 5 years in town. And my eating has gotten just like, I don't know, when you have kids and you're baking stuff all the time, you're eating. So for the past 3 weeks, I've done really good and just concentrate. I guess they call it macro counting now, but when I was, 20 years ago, you just like were counting your proteins, carbs, and fat. So today is no counting. I cannot wait to have some New England clam chowder in a sourdough bread bowl and cookies. It's gonna be awesome. So that's why I'm extra excited. All right, let's chop my onions. At this point, everything was completed except for the clam chowder. I wanted to wait right before everybody arrived to do that so the clams didn't get overcooked. So I added a bunch of cream and I added some cans of wild-caught minced clams. I also had my sugar cookies coming out of the oven, and it really was so convenient. I'm so glad I got everything nice and organized before I started cooking for the dinner party. For drinks, I had a little station over to the right of the stove, and I got to use my punch bowl and my milk glasses. We had water and then also a peach pineapple seltzer water punch, which was really good. And then we had a little bit of dry wine for the adults. And this is how our buffet looked. I can't believe I didn't get a shot of the New England clam chowder, but here's what it looked like. I did get a little video of some chowder in a bowl. I had such a good time preparing, and Eric's family is kind of like my sister. They put up with my foolishness. Everybody ate out of my old lady dishes, and it just brings me so much joy because I feel like these dishes from the 1960s, 60 years later, they're getting their chance to attend another dinner party and, shine. I just love that I get to use them again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you Friday with some Christmas soaps. I hope you have a great Halloween.